OpenAI just dropped a big one. This is the biggest product range that we've seen so far. It's only targeted for the pro user, so it's not for the plus or for the free. It is the research preview. It's known as the operator. Much like computer used by Claude, this one is also an agentic task-based AI, which will be able to check and work for you and browse for you. What do I mean by that? Let's just dive right into it. You can see the link to this specific website down in the description below, so you can have a read at it. Right from the get-go, you would be able to go and click on the go to operator. Mind you, this is only available in the US, so you would have to be in the United States and you would have to be a pro user. So a pro user is the $200 per month user. So once you're in this, it kind of looks like a ChatGPT-esque window. You do see the option to go to ChatGPT. You see over here, it's operator. And here already from the get-go, just to give us some help, they've given us a couple of prompts. For example, find 2 tickets for the next concert at the Sphere. Find the most affordable passes to the Miami Grand Prix. And even for delivery. So these are pre-existing apps that can be used. And then you also have like local services. So check the price for an UberX to the airport right now. And let's say like find a pair of mid-century modern, and you can also do like news. So summarize the latest in news. Actually directly going to take one of the prompts right here. So let's say summarize the top political news for today. So the minute you click on this, and even if you don't want to, you can actually do right over here. But for the purposes of this, we're going to click on this prompt over here. And then you can see it has an app. So you don't always necessarily have to have an app. And then you click on this search, which is kind of the same as ChatGPT. Once you click that, you're going to see something very interesting happen. It's going to say operator browser initiating, and then you can make it full screen. You see what happens is here a couple of things are happening. You see, this is what you would call a watch mode. So I'm not able to do much, but I can see that the ChatGPT, the operator, is able to do its own kind of research. It's quick note, you can do up to 3 concurrent tasks at any given time. So if I wanted to take control, then you have to do something known as a take control. So what that would do is essentially you would be taking over, kind of like passing the laptop from one friend to another. And you would then tell ChatGPT that what is to be done or what not to be done. And you can see it's also saying live. So it's essentially a browser, a Chromium browser within a browser. So even though I'm using a Safari, for the purposes of this, it uses a Chromium browser and it is giving a relevance and research. So you can see it's already working based off of what we are asking for, which was summarize the top political headlines for today. And it's checking. So if we wanted to break down this section right over here, you click on there and you can see it kind of breaks down every single process, kind of like how we humans do in a way. Every step of the way is taken using a computer user agent. And what that means is it's basically taking screenshots and processing the information as it's going. And you can see every decision here is being added to this list if you wanted to check that. So it keeps scrolling, and you can also see to the right, it's actually adding that over there. But that's not it. So then what we can do is we can actually add another one. So I'm going to actually go right over here, and we're going to go back and do another operator. Like I said, we can do up to 3 concurrent operators. So I have one operator over here, and then we're going to add a couple more. So let's say I'm going to do find the movie to watch this weekend in. Now, unlike a Google search or even a ChatGPT search using the regular ChatGPT, you're basically asking it to do tasks for you on a browser. So automatically you can see it instinctively searches like a real human being. So again, we already see here there are 2 concurrent tasks working simultaneously. We have the summarize articles, And then it's already given us these two. The top political headlines from the Atlantic, you have this and this. Full access for these requires a subscription. So it already tells us that it was able to give us, based off of all the research and everything that it did, this is what it came to. And then, meanwhile, now if we go back to this one, you can see that it's now looking for options in Toronto. So these are two options that we have. Now, if I again go back and try another one, let's say I want to order something. So order flowers and chocolate under $100. Or let's say we order spicy noodles. I'm going to use whatever we have in the prompt. The reason why I find this so powerful is you can now, and I'm going to actually talk about this part a little bit later, is that you can do repeat tasks on these in the future. So we've added that. Again, the same thing that happens here. So it opens up in a browser kind of a thing. So it's kind of a cascaded browser within a browser for the security and the safety of people. And then at any given time, if we are doing sensitive information or if we are doing a login information, we can always give control. I need delivery address to search for nearby restaurants offering spicy noodles. So I'm just, for the sake of this, I'm just going to say 94107. And you're going to see it's literally like a back and forth with an assistant that's actually working. And they also mentioned it in the keynote that it would not be doing executive decisions without the final decisions from the human being. Say, for example, a purchase decision, or if you wanted to do any kind of those kind of things, that will be handed over to me. That is where you would go into the take control, and you would take control. You can even log in. So eventually, if they ask me to log in, I can even log into my Uber Eats and I can give my Uber Eats information. This is way more robust than ChatGPT for sure. But as I mentioned, because it's for the pro users, it's not yet available for everybody else. So I would be really curious if you have any prompts that you would want me to search. I could definitely search those, and I can have another video dedicated just for that. We're looking at some worst case scenarios. So we saw the one with the news article. We saw the movie suggestions. It's still searching. So we can see a plethora of searches that it has done with the second task that we had given. So it's looking at a bunch of different options, searching for Toronto theaters. It's giving a very nice reasoning as to why and how you're supposed to, what it's supposed to be doing. Same goes for here as well. So it's like asking for, searching for language options. Now, say for example, if I want to interject the operator, and if I want to say that I would like to have vegetarian. So what's going to happen is I interjected it while they're doing the search. So hopefully this is going to include, you see, I am not actually the one who's typing there. It is the operator who's typing it there. Meanwhile, if we go back here, you can see in this specific task with the movie reviews, or the movie specifically, it found two movies playing at Scotiabank Theatre in Toronto this weekend, which is The Flight Risk and The Presence. Now, if I ask it, which is better, and is there a non-horror movie? Again, think ChatGPT, but more robust. So immediately it's kind of like your own personal assistant or an intern that literally is scrolling as this is literally happening live here. So you can see it's scrolling on its own and doing its own thing. So it found that Mufasa and Sonic the Hedgehog. Now I'm going to ask it, which movie is better to watch of the two? So you can also go into those granular details, like how you would go in a ChatGPT. Now here you can see that it is again continuing with vegetarian options. So it's refining, exactly taking what I wanted. So it's now gone into vegetarian options. It has found my address that I've given, 14907. It has searched for vegetarian options exactly. This is a thing that previous agentic did not have it. Previous agent-based AIs were a little bit difficult. Also, the UI is very, very simple because you kind of have like a ChatGPT style interface. And if you also wanted to like add a file for it to inference from, you can always add a file here. You can also see it's mentioning here that operator retains screenshots of its actions. Please monitor its work. It can make mistakes. So sometimes because it's a research preview, there could be some mistakes. But as of now, since we've already seen the three case scenarios, choices that it is doing is very streamlined, as you can see already. It's looking for spicy, but it's also giving so many different nuances. So it's like explore healthy, selecting vegetarian options, selecting this, selecting that. So as it continues to do that, we're going to go back to our operator to show you something else. So if you open this dash over here, and this is kind of like ChatGPT, but then you can see this is the only one that is a working file. The other two that we had, they're no more working unless I added more to it. So we're not adding anything more to it. So that being said, now you can see all of your recent ones exactly like how you would have it in ChatGPT scenario. However, if you go back over on your profile, you can actually create new tasks. Now, this is where it could be super powerful. Just throwing some ideas out there. Just imagine if you wanted to send out emails, you can literally title it up, you can give an instruction, and for the brevity of time, you can also directly give a URL where it would jump into that URL and it can directly start working in it. Note, however, if you wanted to do something with other platforms that need signing in, you will have to give in that option. And we might actually do that for a little bit. So I'm going to actually, you can already see that it's continuously adding more layers. I've opened this section up so you can see what we are going through. As you can see, this is all live happening in action. Still using the 4O's vision capability, but also much, much stronger. As we can already see with the food, it is still continuing to go back, and it has done a magnificent job of just searching for Asian food. So Asian food, and it's also searching for specifically vegetarian noodles. That's what it's doing in this specific example. Now, I think what the crux of this is that it's going to reduce the workload time a lot. That's for sure. Clearly, we can see here at the Uber Eats one, they're asking me that there is a medium size. I'm going to say, please add it to the order. I'm going to do another prompt, which is going to be do some research on AGI and make notes on it. And now here, I want to see if it understands the meaning of AGI and not adjusted gross income, but the kind of AGI that we are all talking about. And I'm suspecting that it did understand it. So that is also something which is very, very nice. There are obviously a few hiccups here and there, but that kind of a thing is definitely very nice. Okay, now it's saying that the arroz con verduros vegetarian fried rice is ready to be. Should I proceed? If I say yes. So here you can see that every second of the way, it's asking me for steps. And then I can do another one since we are adding. So I'm going to say, find me an Airbnb for 2 people for 1 week in Istanbul with a price of and you'll see. So again, you are kind of searching, but it's also delegating a task and forgetting about it. So then I go back here, and that's exactly what our operator has done here. It went into AGI and it started looking for AGI. I would like for you to make some notes and summarize it. You can see the use case scenario could be multifold. It's not just, so here it's now asking me for signing in, which I'm not going to be doing. But you can see if you go over here to proceed on with the checkout, you will need to log in with your phone number. would you like to log in for this order? So let's say I take control. The minute I do that, it stops. So you can see it says no screenshots are taken. And now this is where I have the control as the human being. But clearly, I'm not going to do that. So for that reason, I'm going to say no. I am not willing to buy this, as I noticed the location was incorrect from my part. It should be in San Francisco. So we can return it back to the operator. So this was a good thing that it says that you took control. And then once I came out of the control, I give some prompt. Oh, right. Okay. You need assistance with anything else? Feel free to reach out. There you see how I took the control and came back to it. So now with this task, we're done. So every task you can see has a specific timer to it. And that timer basically is like how long the operation has been running. So over here, if we see some of these things, you can actually see that it has been making all of these kind of information and deductions from everything that we got on AGI. And again, now if we look at the Airbnb recommendation for 2 people for 1 week in Istanbul with the price of 1,500 Canadian dollars, you can see what it's doing. It's finding logic. That is something that I haven't seen many agentic AI models do that, which is it's finding logic much like a human being would do. The only point of inference which we have to definitely take control is when you would want to sign in to places. Obviously, for the purposes of this demo, I'm not going to be signing into places. The biggest thing I can see is that it also takes away the headache of you having to do the search. Make sure the reviews are good and they are super hosts. So it's much like your personal secretary or intern, as I mentioned earlier. So what I would have done previously before, or not just me, but anybody would have done it previously before, is they would just do this entire process for themselves. Now we see that the operator is able to do it completely on its own. And again, as you can see, we have one running task because the other ones have stopped. And the other ones being the summarization and the food delivery one. So now we can see that it is basically looking for filtering results. And also, yes, I need to also make sure that it is the entire renter. It's also very nice that you get the ability to do back and forth with it and it tweaks according to it. Looking at screen, verifying property type. Let's see if it understands this specific thing. So I said that it should be an entire rental. Let's see if it actually gets that, Evaluating listings, searching view, exploring listings with Bosphorus views, opening listings to check view criteria. Also make sure they are in a good neighborhood. Clearly, they're giving us, so it's a very nice back and forth with a live preview of exactly what's happening. I think this really works well when it comes to doing tasks. You can actually also leave it to its own, and then you can just do a specific other task. But this is definitely a game changer. Obviously, this is at a $200 price point, and it is under the Pro plan. That definitely is a hit, but now let's say, for example, you wanted to click on that and then you go exactly to that link and you see how it is for yourself. With that, basically that is operator in a nutshell. And if you have any more questions about the operator and what are other things that can be done, you can also check out this link in the description, but you can also put some comments down in the description below. The world of AI is exploding at an exponential rate, and I'm uploading videos now more frequently. So if you're interested in that, I would really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put it down in the comments on that. You can also check out the Instagram that I have, where I'm posting different kinds of AI art on a regular basis. And with that said, you can also check out this video right over here, because YouTube says this is a good video. You can also check out this video. This is a nice video as well. And if you want, you can also check this one over here. And until then, I'm going to see you in the next one.